Well, I know a lot of players don't want to hear this now, but it is November, and it's time to do ban list predictions. Holy crap, so much shit needs to get taken care of. Yeah. So, this is going to come right out of the gate right now and say, return, get the fuck out of here. Let's be real here. I'm sick of randomly getting OTK'd by this terrible card. Thinking about it, the TCG meta is going to be different. But when you play against dragons, I don't care if you get all of your cards dropped into the remove game pile. That's fine. So many matches would just be so much better off if I didn't get return sacked. I mean, it's all cool that you can pay half your life points and just blow me out with return. I mean, solemn judgments would still be a thing if return's a thing. It's all the more fair. At least I can draw my 1 in 40 card to win. I mean, they got rid of card destruction. They got rid of, what's the other one? Gateway, the Six Samurai. So, they took away the tier 2 sack decks that could occasionally get wins. And they still left return for the tier 1 OTK. In my opinion, that wasn't fair by any stretch of the imagination. Please, kill that card with fire. Please. Secondly, dragons. I don't think they're going to stay at 3. Could happen. I don't think so. Honestly, I want to see the dragons just go to 2. I know players want to see them go to 1. You have to remember, guys, if you kill them straight with fire, you're going to hurt the synergy that the dragons have with, their 4 elemental decks. You're going to hurt Red Ox, Tempest, things like that, Blaster for Lavels. You really can't do that kind of stuff. I would like to still see them, still work in their own decks like they were supposed to do 100 years ago. Let's see here. Dragon Ravine. I know players don't want to hear this, but this is the best part. Guess what, guys? Even if Dragoonity Rulers gets hit, somehow they need to kill Ravine with fire. The fact that we only have 3 MST right now is pretty much, hurt. And the lack of back row Compulse and Bottomless, they're gone. I mean, yes, they're still at 1 and 1. But most decks were playing 2 Compulse, 2 Bottomless, or 3 Compulse, 2 Bottomless. It was 5 additional cards. So, you have 3 extra on top of the 2 you had now. So, your card choices have severely dropped for that particular matchup. So I would like to see something happen to Dragon Ravine. Yes, I know Dragon Shrine is a card, but, you don't get to continually reuse it, and you can't recruit for the Dragoonity monster on the next turn. Which is actually very nice, and I can use my MST on your relevant Solemn Warning that you got face down. So I would like to see something happen in that department. I mean, I know players are going to be like, oh, Dragon Ravine's not broken. You have to remember the card lets you drump. That's the name of Kazuki Takashi's new manga, by the way. But it lets you drop every turn in the grave, lets you recruit, lets you set up combo plays for, 3 turns in a row. And I just consider that terrible for the game. And like I said, I shouldn't have to MST your field spell just to prevent you from, setting up a potential OTK on me. Like I said, return is 1 card OTK. I know how the players were complaining about card destruction and, Gateway, the Six Samurai. I mean, if you pulled off Gateway, congratulations, you deserve to win that game. You got your win condition card. But, it just so happens that, that's the thing. I know a lot of players are going to hate me for this one too, but we were talking about it at the last regional, and people were bringing up a very good point. What if Sixth Sense doesn't get banned in the next list? What are players going to do? Now, Sixth Sense is a look-based card, and if dragons are dead, what could the deck really, what's it capable of doing? I mean, yes, players have tried to play it in the new Lightsworn. I don't really see it being that good of a card. I mean, if you have My Terrible Luck and you roll the dice for your opponent every time, you always roll 1 for them and they always mill 1. I mean, it's no big deal. If they call 1 and 2, and they mill 4 or 5 cards from their deck, I mean, what have you really lost? I mean, if they 6 cents for a 1/1, I mean, that's not bad at all. They 6 cents for, 2 cards, okay? I mean, it's not bad at all. I did a whole video on No Limit Gaming about 6 cents and, what players call for the numbers. And, I mean, it's really player preference, but unfortunately, 6 cents might not get hit on the next list just because the card isn't, that powerful. I mean, yes, it is powerful. I mean, it's Gateway and card destruction powerful, but I mean, they left return and 6 cents in the same format, so let's be real here. The odds of 6 cents staying, it is a possibility. Just because, the card is a very luck-based card, much like, Gateway and card destruction. Depending on if you pulled it off, it can be good and it can be terrible. It's just, the risk you take. And, depending on what Konami's thinking for the next list, that might actually be a thing. So those are my general hits for dragons. Now we have to talk about Prophecy, because every Yu-Gi-Oh player wants Prophecy to die on a fire for some reason. Why do you think Prophecy have not been topping anything right now? The deck is too slow. And to everybody it's like, oh, they have to get hit. Mistake just got printed, guys. You know, the deck only plays, what, 1 MST? And if you force me to burn my Fate on the Mistake, you've pretty much probably already got yourself in a good position, because it's 1 less Fate for you to kill. Okay, let's look at Prophecy and see what we can hit here. I'm pretty sure... Actually, I just got the deck list on my computer. This will save me a million years here, since everybody is like, hey, Prophecy needs to die. Secrets. 3's fine. Same thing with 3 of Blue Boy. I mean, it's not really much of a problem. I mean, many players have decided to optimally cut the World of Prophecy engine just because it's so bad. I mean, we're beyond the days of you getting a free board nuke to, you know, lose to that. Let's see here. Crescent's not terrible. You can get a random terrible spellbook. Life is okay. Master's okay. Tower's okay. Secrets is okay. And Blue Boy's okay. Alright. There's the deck, guys. Flip Mistake, win the game. It's fine. It's Prophecy. They generate slow advantage. They shouldn't be that hard for you to take out. You know, if you're really scared, side retort for the mirror. You know, play Mind Crush, blow out their Priestess when they reveal. I mean, what are you really worried about? So, Prophecies, they're okay. I mean, they really shouldn't get slowed down any more than they are. As for Evil Swarm and Constellars, everyone seems to be worried about this deck as well. Or these decks as well. I've been hearing talk about Kyrgion and Sombre, players wanting it to be hit. You have to remember, if you kill those 2 cards in general, you pretty much kill the decks. And let's be real here. Outside of, you know, Ophion, Giant Hand, Polites, and Omega, like, what are you really worried about? Those are the power XYZs right now. I mean, yeah, Polites is a win condition, but, I mean, it's what the whole deck does. Puts 1 XYZ on the board. Maybe when things slow down, we'll start to see, you know, shit like Smashing Ground become stable just to blow out Polites. Because, you know, a free 1-for-1 monster destruction card takes care of it unless they have the safe zone. And then, you know, congratulations, you guys win. But that's just the way that is. Other decks, Mad O'Shea still have the occasional OTK. I would like to see Stratman come back to 1. You can kill Malicious with fire. I know so many players are going to yell at me for that. But, you know, I would like to see Heroes return. They do have Super Volley, which is probably one of the best cards in the game for that particular deck. And I don't think they should have lost this list. As for Compulse, Bottomless, and Torrential, I could see Torrential coming back. You have to remember, Compulse is better than both of those cards, because you get the threat immediately out of the way. It's chainable, which is ridiculous as opposed to the other 2. Bottomless is searchable by my Remilio. If I play my Remilio in 3, I play 5 Bottomless. Like, come on now, guys. That's ridiculous. And, you know, Bottomless was one of those cards everybody hated. At least with Torrential, I mean, yes, you can blow up multiple monsters, but you really don't want to Torrential your own setup. And that's something that a lot of players don't really like to admit. I mean, if you have to Torrential your own board just to take care of 1 monster, you're already in a bad position as it is for, you know, just blowing up everything. There's that. Outside of that, there's not really much else I can really think of that needs to be taken care of. I'm just sick of playing against dragons. You know, at least playing against Prophecy, you know, there's some level of mitigation there for you guys to handle. As for the players that think Mermails need to get hit, have you seen the deck do anything in the format? I mean, the deck did top at the beginning of the format. That was before we realized the dragons were still the best deck. The deck is dead for now. Same thing with 4-Axis. 4-Axis is a very good deck. It's probably one of my favorite decks in the game. Unfortunately, it's ass. And it's just... 4-Axis is good. I would like to, you know, play 3-Axis for a little bit, but 3-Axis isn't even an option because, you know, they killed the deck with fire. Hardcore. So, there's that. Outside of that, what else? There's nothing really else that we need to worry about. You know, you'll play against the random Saki deck. Cyber Dragon support's coming out soon. I mean, that's whatever. Noble Knights needs some kind of push on this list. Same thing with Boojins. They need to do something to, you know, to make players want to pick up those decks. I mean, right now, Noble Knights are what Prophecies were. They're severely overpriced for what they are. What Priestesses were, what, 80 to 90s for the longest time. And then, you know, they made Judgment Day, but everything is just tanked. Like Blue Boys and Secrets are what, 4 to 5 apiece, and then High Priestesses are 25 to 35, something like that. And I mean, you got the deck there. Besides towers, but that's whatever. So they need to do something for Noble Knights on this list, either defensively or offensively, you know, some extra trap. But if they bring Compulsor Bottomless back, I mean, you're going to have to play Lances. But I mean, if I start taking away your summons from you every time you try to do something, you're just going to get blown out. That's the factor that they've always had the problem with. It's the problem with a lot of decks right now. It's a problem that even Evil Storm faces. If I lose my one normal summon for the turn, and I can't make Ophion, I just get blown out by dragons. That's why dragons are inherently the best deck right now, because they can just, oh, look, Dragoonity Rulers get their one normal and then a million specials, and then there's just a million specials for, you know, regular Dragon Rulers. So it just depends on the archipelago. But those are my first thoughts on, you know, the ban list. Of course, I'm going to retweak them as we get closer to the ban list, but you know, these are my early thoughts. So guys, tell me what you think is going to happen in the comment section down below. Please give me logical responses to why you think things are going to happen. Unfortunately, I can't respond to certain people right now because of the way the system's translating over for Google, so if I don't respond to your comment, don't flip shit. Someone's going to flip shit anyway. But you know, it's okay, so just understand that. So guys, tell me what you think is going to happen, your own personal opinions, and why in the comment section down below. Like I said, there's many other things that are going to happen, but I'm going to save those thoughts for another day. I'll talk to you guys later on.